Hey guys, it's Crowan. I'm going to do a quick video here, well not quick, it's going to be a little long, on how to cast your circle. We're also going to touch on some other things here. Casting a circle, grounding and centering, animals in circle, cutting in and out, a little bit of circle etiquette and a little bit of circle respect. So, I want to start the video by saying a few little quick things. And just so you know, for the purpose of this video, my left is your right and my right is your left. So just so you know, when I do the east and west candle, you're not saying it's backwards because my altar faces north. Just happens to be the camera angle I'm at. First thing I want to talk about is the candles. These are just normal store-bought dollar store candles. Nothing exciting about them. There's there. If you can find them in white, that's awesome. You can find them in other, other colors. That's fine too. Some people prefer to use the green, yellow, red, and blue. That's fine. But I want to bring something to you guys real quick. If you're going to use white, like I prefer to do, if you notice there's an N there, this means that it's my north candle. So obviously, I know where my north candle always goes. Okay, the other thing I want to discuss is we're going to do two directions. We use two different. We're going to say Deosil, which is clockwise, and Widdershins is counterclockwise. Widdershin is mostly used for banishing something or getting rid of negative energy. We're doing Deosil today, which is clockwise, which is going to be this direction when we cast our circle. The first thing you want to do with any circle, it will do something we call grounding and centering. What this is it's a way of making yourself one with the earth and the universe. And it's a very simple procedure. You basically, I prefer to use a blue-black light, like a black light bulb. You're going to bring it out from space, through your body, down to your feet, bring it back up like upside down umbrella, back down, into the earth, and you're going to envision tree roots on the bottom of your feet, which enable you to move around. So, we'll do that right here, right quick now, and then we're going to continue with the ritual here. Also, my lovely wife, Sea Witch, today is going to be behind the camera, so if you see it moving, I'm not doing any kind of weird telekinetic thing. That's her moving the camera around. So, we're going to do that here in a minute too. So what I want to do is, I'm going to have her pan to my right here for a minute. You will notice over here and over here, go back to center please, hon, that I have stuff here. Okay? When you cast your circle, you'll want to make it as wide as your altar space. So if you have to grab something or do something, you don't have to step out of your circle because you're about to grab anything else you might need. Similar tools. Standard thami. Most witches prefer to use it for casting circles and that kind of thing. It's not sharp. Not going to hurt anybody. Never used to draw blood. Never used to draw any kind of harm to anybody. It's used strictly for energy purposes. Some of you all might prefer to use a wand. I have one of those too. Had this for a while. It's probably about as old as me, if not a little bit younger. This is a standard German style dress dagger. Found it when I was young. Had it for 20 plus years probably. Fits me perfectly fine, just do what I use. If you have a large group, you may consider using a sword. Again, I've had this for quite some time. Not sharp, doesn't need to be. Not used to hurt anything or anybody. Strictly ritual purposes. Okay, continuing on. The other thing I want to say before I get started with this is, with your ceremonial tools, you never want to have your thami, wand, sword, staff, whatever. I don't have a staff with me, but the same idea. Pointing towards you. You know, energy, if you do something negative, you want the energy pointing towards you, common sense. You either want it A, straight in front of you, or to either side. If you're in a large group of people, best place to keep it is in your sheath. Okay, so I'm going to ground and center real quick here, and I'm going to continue. Okay, I'm grounded and centered. Now, next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my Athame, I'm going to cast my circle. Now, you can use multiple different ways. Some people prefer to keep your Athame straight out. Some people prefer a 45-degree angle. Some people can do it up. Some people down to the ground. Doesn't matter. I prefer the 45-degree angle just because it works well with me. So, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to be out of view briefly in two spots here. As you can see, the altar is longer than the camera. But you should hear me with no problem. So I'm going to start. I'm going to go this direction. I cast my circle around this space, putting myself between both time and space. We're now in a time which is not, nor a place which is not, but a place between both time and space. This ritual's begun. So mote it be. Next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start lighting your quarter candles. What you're going to do, and also, a little etiquette here, fellow witches, be careful. We tend to wear long, bell sleeves, flames. You shouldn't have to say it, but it does happen. Be careful. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your Athame, place that at your north candle. Doesn't matter how, doesn't matter what you do, how you do it. And you're going to simply say something along these lines. Hail to guardians of watchtowers of the north, element of earth. I ask you to come join me in this ritual tonight. Blessed be. So mote it be. Whatever you want to say, doesn't matter how you say it first, last, doesn't matter. Then you're going to simply take a lighting stick, and I think works really, really well. If you can get them, the little long white wicks. If you can get them, great. If not, light sticks work really well, and so do uncooked spaghetti. Now, they work real well for these long candles because they do get, the wicks get down in there. And you will light your north candle. You're going to continue on. Hail to the guardians of the watchtowers of the east, element of air. I ask you to come join me in this ritual this night. So mote it be. I'm going to light that one. And you're going to continue to the south. Hail to the guardians of watchtowers of the south, element of fire. I ask you to join me in this ritual tonight. So mote it be. And you're going to light fire candle. And you're going to come to the west. Hail to the guardians of watchtowers of the west, element of water. I ask you to join me in this ritual this evening. So mote it be. I'm going to light your west candle. Now, for those of you who use the silver and gold candles for the god and goddess, that's perfectly fine. I choose to. It's a preference. You don't need to. But I'm not going to say my lazy limits just say blah, 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 because that's something I want to put out in public. Ladies and lords, temple gods and goddesses, blah, 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 blah. I ask you to join me in this ritual tonight to offer your guidance, your knowledge, and your power and wisdom. Thank you, and blessed be. Then you're going to simply just take your spirit candle, you're going to light it, and you're going to set your, you're going to light your God and Goddess candles. Okay. This is a chalice. This is what we use for wine, juice, whatever. Keep in mind, guys, if you got a large group of people, you gotta consider women in your circle may be pregnant, may have medical issues they can't drink. Be curious, find out ahead of time, hey, is it okay with drinking wine? You know, that kind of thing. This is empty for just here for ritual purposes right now. Next thing I want to discuss is cutting in and out. Cutting in and out is simply something we do should we have to leave the circle for us. You know, maybe, you know, you agree with your stomach's rumbling, you know, you gotta go. That kind of thing. So, I'm not gonna do it, but I'm gonna just kind of, I said, remember, my room is past, is beyond my circle, so I can do it, so I don't worry about, you know, doing it. I'm still in my circle. I'm just going to demonstrate what not to do, because my circle is completely full of the room. You know, like I said, you know, you ate something to agree with, your stomach's rumbling, you know, you gotta go, you know, it's one of them. You don't want to do this. Okay? What you've just done, and again, I said my circle is past where I've stepped out of the frame here. I understand stuff happens, you know, sometimes you gotta go, sometimes things happen, you know, the kids might drop something, break something, you know, I understand. What you've just done is you have broken that circle, okay? You're gonna hear about life from HP and HPS, you know, let's not do it. The proper way to cut in and out of a circle is gonna be this. And again, like I said, I didn't really step on circles, I just added my circle beyond my wall, but that's what you don't want to do. The proper way to cut in and out of a circle is going to be this. You're going to take your thami, similar tool, whatever it might be, and you're going to hold it however you decide to, and you're going to want to cut a slit in the circle, just a diagonal slit like so, and you're going to step out of frame, and again, I'm not just demonstrating here. You're going to want to close with a pentagram around. Come back in, it's the same thing. Cut a slit, you're going to step in, and you're going to close with a pentagram. Okay. The other thing I want to discuss is, we're just going to close in these circles, just a little bit easier. Okay, now we've got discussed. You're going to call down your quarters. You basically do the same thing, just in reverse, you know, of what you did before. One thing I want to stress, whatever you do, folks, do not. It's nothing wrong, but I just prefer not to do it. Do not take your circle down or your quarter candles down and do this. Don't do it. Nothing wrong with it, but just don't do it. It's not proper circle etiquette when you call down your towers. Use a candle dispenser, so it's just easier. Okay, so what we're going to do is, we'll come over here. You're going to just, you know, whatever you want to do here. I called on the North Watchtower. Thank you for aiding me in this ritual this evening. Stay if you wish. Go if you must. And blessed be. You're going to take your candle dispenser and just put it in there. Sure. Oh, dear God, okay, good. And then you're going to come to the east. I called on the East Watchtower. I thank you for aiding this ritual this evening. Stay if you wish, go if you must, and blessed be. And you're going to takes a while. You're going to come to the south and say, I bring down in the south watchtower. I thank you for aiding this ritual this evening. Stay if you wish, go if you must, and blessed be. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to come to the west. I call on the west watchtower. I thank you for aiding this ritual this evening. Stay if you wish, go if you must, and blessed be. And you Then you're going to come to your spirit candle. Ladies and lords, temple gods and goddesses, blah 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 blah. I thank you for aiding me in this ritual this evening. I thank you for your wonderful love, your knowledge, and your power, and your energies, so on and so forth. I bid you all farewell. Stay if you wish, go if you must, blessed be. You're going to do the same thing. And you're just going to take your golden sword candle and just put them out like so. The last thing to do before you do anything is you want to close your circle, or open your circle rather. The simple way to do that is you're just going to take your ceremonial tool and you're going to tap it on your altar like so. This ritual is ended. The circle is open but yet unbroken. We have returned to a place of time and space. So mote it be, and blessed be. Now, the other thing I want to get into is circle etiquette will be next. So I gotta okay, circle etiquette. And again, most of these things have to be said, but things do happen. I want to touch back on the whole cutting in, cutting out thing. Trust me, I'm a father. I understand. You know, parents out there understand. You know, be curious. Your kid might drop something, break it, you might get scared. You think he's cut. You know, you gotta go check him. Be curious. Also, and this is a personal thing I'm going to mention because I know some places out there have this issue. If you are a practitioner of the craft and be a volunteer, firefighter, or paramedic kind of thing, we're going to volunteer partner of some kind. It is okay to have your little pager radio in circle. Most HPs will be okay with that if they live in a community that has that kind of thing. But again, your tones go off. Don't just run out. Cut out as quickly as possible. Go through what you need to take care of, and then come back and do what you need to do. Just be courteous. The first thing I want to bring up, then again, I shouldn't bring this up, but I'm going to say it. People, you're in a circle, don't fart. I know it sounds funny, I know it sounds weird, but it happens. You know, I can tell how many times I've been sitting or standing in a circle, and you know, everyone's and you're going, really? Now, if it's a loud one, you know who did it. You're going, really? You know? Or the worst one, oh man, I got a fart. You know, there's people around me. You know, I don't want to. Oh, I can't hold it in. Oh, thank God. It was a sound one good. Ah, shit, it smells. And again, we joke about it, we laugh, but it does happen. Try not to do it. Some of you will say it's extra energy, it's, you know, perfectly natural. That's fine, but again, don't embarrass yourself, don't embarrass people around you. It's going to happen. I understand that, but try and be curious about it. Okay? Look at that. Another thing I want to bring up about circle etiquette is, since this happens to be right here, pets. Domestic pets. You know, cats, dogs, birds. You know, I don't know what else people roam around the house these days, but domesticate pets, such as cats, and this is one of my wife's cats. They reside in the basement where my ritual area is. Should they decide to step on your altar or walk past you when you're doing ritual, they will not break your circle. So don't figure out, oh crap, I gotta restart, you know. Humans, yes. Furries, no. I call all animals furries. It's just a preference thing for me. So, the same applies if you are outside and a bird flies over, or a deer, or anything, squirrel that might pass your circle. They cannot break your circle. Humans will break your circle. Continue on. I'm going to have to have my wife come into the picture here. That way. Doesn't really matter, circle's broken now, but anyway. Okay. Now, proper circle etiquette. You just saw that I bowed to her when she entered the circle because she was out of view and she bowed to me. Some covens will have that as a rule. I did. It was a, you know, preference thing. It's a written law when you have your coven organized. What I want to go with here is, I want to talk to you about proper etiquette with ceremonial tools. Like that. Okay. And again, this shouldn't have to be said, but it does happen. You know. Most circles are going to be in close quarters. Okay? You know, so this floor, we're just going to face the west here. You know, you might be this close to someone. You know, and the HPS, okay, we're going to call the west, you know, the west watchtower. Don't do this. Poke your person behind you in the butt. You know, again, it sounds funny. You know, you get left about later, you might hear a little few snide remarks. So Squidgers like to make a lot of sexual comments and sexual innuendos from, we're just demented that way. Anyway, since you guys all know that, that's just us. We're really demented in making sexual comments and all kinds of crazy stuff. So, don't poke the person in the butt. You know, some of you guys might like that kind of stuff. I personally don't. I don't think the person in front of me would like to do it either. But anyway. The other thing you don't want to do is, just keep turning that way. The other thing you don't want to do is, you know, unsheath the thami and poke the person in the head, or the side of the head, or up, you know, up here, poke one through a thami. Again, it happens. So there are 3 things I'm going to show you, and I'm going to tell you the one I prefer to do that works best for me. The first thing I want to do is, the first thing I would show you is, you put it on the opposite shoulder, if they're facing you, and you just point. Just if they turn, you're not going to turn into your thami. You always want to be so they can see it. The second thing that you can do is, you can always go out to the side, or the easiest thing you can do is just go right over their shoulder, as such. That's the simplest, easiest way to do. The other thing I want to explain is, let me see that, hon. The other thing is, I want to express real quick, is respect. Okay, in some cases an HPS or an HP may be doing something without their counterpart. For all those out there who are husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriends, that kind of thing, whatever you do, I know you love your fiancés, your girlfriends, your wives, whatever, don't come in circle and do this. you know, come on, guys. Time and place for it, not in circle. Again, I've seen it done. I've seen it. It's, you know. And again, the whole bowing thing for proper, you know, acknowledgement is fine. I'm going to touch on that a little bit more later on in another video. The other thing I want to talk about briefly is a coven and a circle family. You're fine. A coven and a circle family are two different things. A circle family is a group of people who may meet up once or twice a month for a ritual, whether it be a Sabbath or an Esbit. An Esbit is like a full moon ritual or something like that sort. A Sabbath is a more, you know, bigger holiday like Yule, Samhain, Beltane, so on and so forth. What you're going to want to do is basically circle family meets together, you know, they drink a little bit, they do ritual, they drink a little bit more, have some hors d'oeuvres, you know, everybody kind of brings something, that kind of thing. A coven is a lot more strict. You know, you're going to meet, if you have a coven and you have a council, which are very, usually in most cases about 7 people on a council, and that involves a coven master, a coven leader, whatever term you want to use, 3 HP, 3 HPS, treasurer, secretary, that kind of thing. And usually those positions are held by a member of the council. Just to make things easier, some people have bigger, you know, councils than some people have 8, 10, doesn't matter. Some coven councils meet twice a week, once a month, doesn't matter. You want to, you know, those are the differences between covens and circle families. And the other thing I want to discuss is belts. Okay? I know a lot of you guys nowadays, you know, have cell phones, keys, all that stuff. Unfortunately out there, and I hate this even, again, it shouldn't be said, but it has to be said, there are people out there in our community of our own race that steal stuff. It's okay, for example, to have something like this attached to your belt to keep your cell phone, keys, wallet, whatever. A lot of us, as you know, we don't have anything on our robes usually. You know, we're always sky-clad, which is nude. But anyway, what I want to say is, I know there's a lot of different things out there from different companies. I'm going to say a bunch of companies. I don't sponsor any companies. I'm not associated with the companies I'm going to mention. So I'm not, you know, I don't work for these companies that I'm going to mention. I'm not sponsored by them. You don't want to bring something in like, you know, a Condor waist pouch, or Max Mission waist pouch, or a 511 tactical waist pouch. You know, like these big, you know, it doesn't fit your character if you're wearing ceremonial robes. You know, you can give them black, you can give them different colors, but it just doesn't fit. You know, get something that's just simple and easy. You can just get to your items easily. And again, cell phones off, that kind of thing. Ceremonial jewelry is okay. You know, a lot of you guys have to want to do like big jewelry, that's fine. But things like watches, that I just keep an eye just because I'm doing a demonstration video. But this will normally be off in a ritual, you know, and again. The only other thing I want to really touch on before I leave this video here is, you have to understand, folks, that there are people out there who have issues. Obviously, we all have issues. But be aware. When we were in a coven, we had an individual, and again, I'm not mentioning anybody's names, but as a coven, you are to protect your own. What you understand, folks, is this. If you're a member of council like I was, be alert. Be vigilant on people around your circle. We had an individual, you know, who would come to ritual late, not in garb. By garb I mean ritual clothing. You know, And it was always, oh, I had to work late, I was rushing, you know, I didn't have time. After a while, I kind of go through what's going on. This individual decided to always come in summertime in long sleeves, you know, pants, that kind of thing. Like, you know, it was expressed to council many times, you know, hey, something right here, something's going on. We didn't call her to council chambers and talking to her, and she was in a very, it came out that she was in a very abusive relationship. Witches tend to handle things on their own. If you're in a strict coven, you tend to handle things on your own. You don't want to really involve the law if you really have to. You know, unless it's absolutely positively necessary, handle your stuff, as we say, in-house, meaning within the circle, or within the council, rather. You got people who don't like in the circle, you know, instead of getting mad, outbursting on them and that kind of thing, talk to the member of council, and need to talk to you about XYZ, so on and so forth. And do it that way. The other thing I want to mention is, I said I was going to do this, and I finally got it done, is I have now put in the description on my YouTube channel the 3 ways to contact me. It's in the description. You can either do email, Facebook, or contact me on my phone. I try to check the group at least once a week, the phone once a week, and the email at least once a week. Doesn't always happen. I'm a family man. I'm also a father. You know, doesn't always happen. So that's in the description now. So you can click on About, and it'll tell you how to contact me. The last thing I want to touch on is cords. Some covens wear cords. Most times, just to tie your rope doesn't get, you know, if you got the bulk of it, it kind of makes it a little less bulky. In my case, though, if you notice, I got 1, 2, 3 loops. This signifies in my coven that I was in that I'm a 3rd degree high priest. I'm going to briefly go through to you what each level that we had was, so you get the idea. If you want to use some of these things later on, you can use them. So I'm just going to, there's obviously a 3rd degree high priest or high priestess, 1, 2, 3 loops, and you just tie the end down and make it a knot. If you're in a 4th loop, I'm just going to pull a 4th loop here, this would be considered elder. This would be the, you know, older folks over 50, actually you can really over 40, 50, 60, and so on. So that's what that would be. So you got, you know, and you have, if it was just tied 1 loop and then a straight down chord, 1st degree high priest, high priestess, 2nd chord and 1 and 2 loops, 2nd degree, 3rd loop, 3rd degree. Before all that, we had apprentice. Apprentice is just a basic knot tied and just dangle it down. Or sorry, initiate was just basically a tie and you just dropped it down, didn't do anything with it. Then you had apprentice. Apprentice was simply just, you took the ends and you loop them up through the belt and kind of just loop in front of you. And usually you have one end longer than the other, doesn't matter which end. Then you had emperor or empress. That was simply the same thing, only your chords were even, and you had 1 knot and hangs down. Also, we had on our robes, this is just a typical black council robe that we used to wear. There's nothing on it right now, so we just took it off for the purpose of the ritual. We had a more, what we call a coccyx, which is a Catholic robe that most ministers, priests, or servers wear for Catholic masses. They have the collar, you can put your clergy collar if you need to. And we had, you have different things for, some use colors, some use, nameplates, what you are, first degree HPS, second degree HPS, third degree HPS, so on and so forth, treasurer, secretary, minister, whatever. So, like I said, everything's on the web page now, on the About page, on my YouTube account. Feel free to contact me anytime you need to on those ways. And as always, blessed be.